Good morning, my friends. It is Saturday, the 24th of May, 2025 at 0830 hours here in the wonderful Miraflores district of Lima, Peru. It's a peaceful Saturday here in Miraflores, partly cloudy this morning with cool, fresh air sitting around 61 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun will break through later, warming us gently to a high of 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And with no rain expected, it's shaping up to be a great day for a walk, a quiet coffee outdoors, or just some time reflecting. The breeze is steady from the south-southwest at 9 miles per hour, and the UV index is high today, so don't forget your sunscreen if you head out. Sunrise was at 6:19 today, and the sun will set at 5:50 this evening. So keep that in mind as you're headed to the beach, if you go there. Wherever you are, whether you're reading from your phone, tablet, or curled up with a cup of coffee, I hope you'll slow down, take a breath, and spend a moment with me today in Chapter 11 of Trapped in Deception. This one pulls us deep into the inner chambers of power, where betrayal is met not with rage, but with cold calculation. Let it remind us that trust is fragile, but truth, God's truth, is firm and unchanging. Now let's open the door to Chapter 11, The Chase Begins. Chapter 11, The Chase Begins. Monday, 12 January 2015. Dallas, Texas, 51st floor of True Funds office of Carlos Ortiz, CEO, 1100 hours. It was a beautiful office with a plush blue carpet, the kind that your feet sank into. Seated around the polished conference table were the most influential figures of True Funds Bank. At the head of the table sat Carlos Ortiz, a first-generation Mexican-American who had climbed to the top. He was a man whose self-indulgent life was beginning to catch up with him. Carlos was 5'5", with thick black glasses and hair still untouched by gray, despite his 60 years. His suit was crumpled and a mess, and his slumped posture did not help. He held a double Scotch whiskey under his double chin and a clear glass with 2 ice cubes, his drink of choice. To his right sat Tommy Chung, head of security, an Asian American who sat rigidly, his fingers drumming against the table. The deep creases in his forehead and the tight clinch of his jaw made his irritation clear. Next to Tommy was Regina Klein, the acting chief financial officer, temporarily filling the role after Michael Buster's spectacular downfall. Over the holidays, Michael Buster died in a car crash, but not before stealing over $10 million from the bank through wire transfers and cryptocurrency. Regina Klein, an attractive black woman from Jamaica, spoke with only the faintest trace of her Jamaican accent. A relentless workaholic, she carried her efficiency into every aspect of her life, even her wardrobe. No jewelry, no frivolous accessories, just sharp, tailored pantsuits that prioritize function over fashion. To Carlos' left sat Cecilia Herrera, head of security, cybersecurity that is, a Hispanic woman in her mid-40s with a slender build and a reserved yet pleasant smile. She dressed well but never flashily, her meticulous appearance reflecting the precision she brought to her work. Silence hung over the room like a heavy fog. No small talk, no idle chatter, just the weight of the holiday heist pressing down on them. 2 security officers sat at the remaining chairs, their names absent from any plaques, but their presence was a silent statement of trust from Tommy. The final member at this meeting was Diane Ferry. Once Tommy's girlfriend, she now looked anything but comfortable. She sat stiffly across from Tommy, looking every bit like a schoolgirl caught red-handed. Diane kept her gaze locked on the carpet, avoiding the accusing eyes around her. She was dressed in a modest white dress, pearl earrings, and matching shoes. The meeting began with Carlos speaking, the others sitting in tense silence. Let me get this straight, Diane. Carlos said, his voice rising with disbelief. You gave Michael Buster access to my office and computer because he needed some stuff and it would help him get it done faster? You let out a bitter laugh. Jesus Christ, you absolute idiot. You give a whole new meaning to the word bimbo. He slammed the whiskey glass on the table. Tell me you didn't actually believe him. Diane was already sobbing. Yes, I believed him. He said he had a new algorithm that would make more money for the company and for the clients. He said you would give him a lot of pushback unless you saw that it actually worked. Carlos shook his head and glared at her. He wanted to say something, but he was speechless. Tommy pinched the bridge of his nose with his left hand, inhaling deeply before exhaling through gritted teeth. Carlos, beating up Diane isn't going to fix this. The damage is done, he muttered, the fingers of his right hand tapping against the table. We need to clean this up. Now. Ortiz took a long pull on his whiskey. Fine, Diane. That will be all. Don't give away any more company secrets. One of our fine security officers will escort you to your desk to collect your things. Turn in your badge and leave the building. He paused, his voice lowering to a sharp edge. And let me remind you of your non-disclosure agreement. Tommy nodded to Fred, one of the security officers, who stood up and gestured for Diane to do the same. She left the office, sobbing. Carlos sighed and turned back to Tommy. We have bigger problems. Michael stole something that I can't exactly report. Tommy's brow furrowed. What do you mean? Carlos leaned forward. I used client funds for crypto, a sure thing, until Buster stole my key. He took a deep breath. The only thing stopping him from taking my money is Cecilia's security patch. It's a ticking clock. The police can never find out about the cryptocurrency. Tommy sat back thinking. We need outside help. I was afraid you'd say that, Carlos muttered. What do you have in mind? Tommy tapped his fingers on the table. My nephew, a former Army Ranger, now working for a private firm, Silent Wolf. They pick from Navy SEALs, Force Recon, Air Force TAC Ops. He's expensive, but he gets results. We won't use Silent Wolf directly, but my nephew does jobs off the books to avoid red tape. Carlos sighed. Fine, do it. Just keep it off the books. Tommy nodded. I'll call him tonight. Well, that was Chapter 11. The tension inside the True Funds boardroom is thick, and the fallout is only just beginning. With Carlos Ortiz scrambling to hide his own sins, and Tommy Chung calling in favors from a world outside the law, it's clear. What's done in darkness will come to light, sooner or later. That's something we'd all do well to remember. I hope you're enjoying the ride so far. It's been a blessing to share this journey with you. As you go about your day, take a moment to be kind to someone. Thank God for the breath in your lungs, and remember, no matter what chaos this world throws at us, God is still in control. Stay safe, be good to others, and to yourselves. And may the peace of our Lord be with you today. Get outside and have some fun. Check out kenweb69.com and get on the mailing list. All the cool kids are doing it. God bless you all. See you later. This is Ken Webb. Goodbye.